Hi everyone. So it is the end of week 6, and I think today marks the beginning of week 7, so our very last week in the course. I hope that you're doing okay and have found time to work on your final assignments for the last piece of the class. I just wanted to comment briefly on some of your work from week 6. I hope that you found the article for the working with non-performing employees helpful, along with the video. Um, just just a couple things. One, I think one of you commented on the challenge of supervising or even working with friends in a work environment and having to hold them accountable. That is a huge subject. Many people will tell you that as you move into management positions that you should not supervise friends. So if you become their supervisor, then if the friendship's over. I have a kind of a hard time doing that, but as long as you can objectively approach your position and kind of move into that management leadership role where you can still confront people that you would consider friends, then I think it's okay. If you get into the position where you can't, then you have a problem. So I guess over the years, what I really kind of hold in my mind is that my job as the manager and the leader is to be the number one advocate for the customer or the patient that's being served. And if you allow, compromised performance or don't hold people accountable, you're basically compromising that patient or that customer's experience. And in my mind, that's just not acceptable. So if I just, even when I have people that I work with that I would consider a friend, I always keep in mind that customer or that patient and realizing that the mission of the organization and the expectation for the area that I manage and lead is that patient or customer or student in my case must be served. So I really kind of put the friendship aside and I try to address head on the problem at hand. If I can't do that, then I think I would seriously question whether I could be in that role because I'm not doing my job. So ultimately, our job is to facilitate that relationship and that the end product is being delivered to that end consumer. And if you're not helping that, then you're part of the problem. So I keep that in mind. And I've over the years I supervised some kind of intimidating people, as I'm sure you guys do also. It takes a lot of guts to kind of find that courage within yourself and that voice to really kind of work out what your response is going to be, so you sound like a halfway intelligent person, and and really confront the issue. And I can't really think of a situation where it's come back and bit me. Most people that I find intimidating, if I'm concise, upfront, to the point, if I use data to back what I'm suggesting, if I point to the mission and the values of our organization in my response, most of them respect me. I think it's in the situations where you don't hold people accountable. People watch you, so members of the team are watching you allow certain behaviors to go on, and you lose a lot of credibility with those people, and then they themselves become more disengaged in the organization and don't participate at the same level that they should. So that's been a more difficult lesson for me, is just realizing that other members of the team are watching me And if I allow certain behaviors to go on, it can get in the way. So just a quick example. In my former institution, I had about 7 faculty and 3 staff people that were part of my program. And we used to have staff meetings, I think, twice a month. It's amazing how you forget these things. It hasn't even been a year yet. But I had one person that worked with me, brilliant, super smart guy, an older gentleman, very accomplished in life. And certain things were happening in the environment where he was just getting really frustrated with how things were being done. And so he used to come to meetings and just vent a lot. And a lot of that venting included some rather foul language. So part of me was, I was kind of torn because I thought, well, he's got to vent someplace, so why not here among his colleagues? And we all kind of need to express some of this frustration. And so, I allowed, I didn't say anything about the foul language being used. And this was going on for quite some time. And then I'm not even exactly sure what happened, but it came to my attention that this was a growing problem. And so I had a conversation with him about it, and we both agreed that it was not only just important for him to get the language under control, but that all of the behaviors of everyone in these meetings needed to get kind of tightened up. So we went back to establishing ground rules. So at the very next meeting, we had a conversation about what should the ground rules be with regards to. Sorry, I'm having issues with lighting. I keep looking and it's like black, but anyhow, so we established ground rules as a department, and I put those at the top of our agenda. In every meeting, we would kind of review those quickly before we got started, and after that, things became a little bit more civil. But then I don't really think it got in the way of real conversations either. So, but from now on, I'm a pretty big advocate of establishing ground rules with groups, and I do now really appreciate the importance of holding people accountable to not just work and deadlines, but in behaviors and especially in meetings. So anyhow, be really aware of if you allow non-performance that you're communicating, whether you're aware of it or not, communicating a lot to the additional members of the team. And I always think that there's probably a couple people just sitting back there saying, man, I wish she would deal with that because it is really distracting, or it's really pulling the team down, or what have you. So just be aware of that when you get into those positions. So anyhow, that's kind of the bulk of it. The other exercise had to use with using the SVI data. So again, I think we've kind of hit on this a number of times throughout the class, how important it is to use data. And in many cases, within your own units, you're going to have to be creating data. So creating dashboards, probably not as fancy as the SVI .gov site, but you can create some pretty good data for you that really helps the team understand where they're at in performance. And when you do that, the data kind of helps people manage themselves. So it's kind of a win-win. So anyhow, I hope you found that exercise helpful. It's one of them that I actually used from the textbook. I think I've used 2. I bet you if I asked, you could tell me exactly which ones those are too, because they're a little bit more dry as compared to watching more fun videos. So anyhow, so the class is wrapping up. The course ends on Monday, the 16th, which just so happens to be my 24th wedding anniversary. So I'll probably be out celebrating that night. Yay! So I extended the deadline for the interview and the leadership models to be posted on Monday by 11:59 instead of Sunday, just because the course technically ends on Monday. So hope you enjoy that extra time. If you have any questions at all about those assignments, I know they're still kind of vague. I've been trying to respond to your questions as they come in. I posted a response to one that on in the announcements, just because I've heard that question a couple of times, so I thought I'd just share responses with everybody. So if you need anything, I'm around throughout the end of the week, and if I don't, I probably won't record a video next week. But I just wanted, oh, if you could please complete the survey for the course. I really appreciate your honest feedback and constructive though. Like how can I improve this class? If you could just really kind of keep that in your back of your mind as you're completing that really helps me. Every time I teach something, I try to make it just a little bit better. So I've already started working on updates for the spring class, and I'm adding another book to the class. So just a tiny one. So anyhow, I will look forward to talking with you as you move into the capstone course, and it's been a real privilege. I hope you've gotten a lot out of this. I know I've enjoyed it. So take care and stay in touch. Have a great week. Bye.